Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. And we have a great show for you tonight. And if you guys want to call and ask questions, 323-870-3857. And tonight, we're going to talk about Dillian Whyte pulls out of his fight with an injury, a suspect injury. We'll tell you more about that. And we're going to talk about, is DAZN going to pay-per-view? We'll tell you all about it. But first, we're going to get started with the big fight over the weekend. Shakur Stevenson versus Jamel Herring. Shakur Stevenson wins by TKO over Jamel Herring in the 10th round. I'll tell you what, this fight was all Stevenson. He dominated this fight from beginning to end. I expected Shakur to dominate, but didn't expect him to knock him out. You know, I didn't know that he had that kind of power. You know, Herring was getting hit flush in the first round, and that when I saw that, I knew he wasn't going to be able to take those shots all night. You can't take I don't care how hard you hit or how hard the other guy hits or how feather-fisted you think the guy is. You cannot take those kind of flush type shots all night. The other thing that I liked is that Shakur went to the body. He invested in the body. He really went to work on his body, man. Herring was trying in there. He really was. But every time he tried, man, Stevenson just had an answer for him. He really did. To me, the key for Shakur the other night was the feints. Every time he flinched, Herring reacted, and that would allow Stevenson to just set him up all night, man. Everyone was talking coming into this fight how they thought like maybe Herring was going to bully him, was going to push Shakur around. He was the bigger fighter. Turns out he wasn't the bigger fighter. I mean, when they got in that ring and we looked at him, obviously Herring was a little bit taller. Shakur looked every bit as big as him, and he looked every bit as strong as him. He wasn't able to bull that guy around at all. 10th round, the ref jumped in and stopped it after a flurry from Stevenson. Stevenson was winning this fight via shutout on 2 of the 3 cards. So, I mean, it was an amazing fight for him. I mean, he just I picked the fight to be around 10-2, somewhere in there. That's what I called before the fight for Shakur. I thought Shakur was going to dominate the fight. I didn't think he was going to knock him out, though. And in all fairness, like, Herring, didn't come off his feet or anything like that. And the referee stopped it. He stopped it because it was no longer competitive, and he got hit with a flurry, and there was no sense of letting this thing go on. Both his eyes were swollen. One of his eyes were cut. One of his eyes were swollen. He had taken flush shots all night. He was trying in there, and he was fighting back, but the fight just wasn't competitive. There was no reason for it to go on. So in my mind, it was a good stoppage. After the fight, Shakur called out Oscar Valdez. Listen, man, this is an easy fight to make, and I do think this will be next. I know that Valdez was going after Navarrete, or they wanted to make that fight, and I understand, listen, that's a big money fight for them, but Shakur has been calling out Valdez for a long, long time. So I do think that will be next, and then the winner can fight Navarrete. And I think either one of these guys beat Navarrete. I think Shakur ices both of them. I mean, I don't know that he knocks them out, but he wins easy decisions over both guys. So, Beeb, let's talk about like when you saw this fight, because when we talked about it, you thought that Herring was going to be a little bit bigger, too big for Shakur. And were you as surprised as I was in that first round?
I'm going to say something that may sound very hyperbolic, and I tend to make these statements from time to time, and people call me out on them, thinking that I'm full of shit and that I'm going over the top. You know how Wilder Fury 3 was probably the best heavyweight fight in the last 10 years?
Yeah.
Shakur Stevenson, his performance, to me, was the most complete, comprehensive, impressive, and skillful performance that I've ever seen from a fighter in the last 10 years, at least, maybe more. And I'll explain to you why. And to answer your question, I was surprised how filled out and good he looked at the weight. Yes, I was.
Too. Yeah.
But I've never seen such a complete flawless performance in my life. And when I say complete, this guy beat him from the outside, from the inside, and in the mid-range. And one of the keys to victory for Herring was he couldn't fight him in the center of the ring. He had to back him to the ropes, back him in the corner to trap him up there, not give him that room and that space to maneuver out, because he likes to go in and out. He's a kind of an ambush guy. He likes the movement. He likes to throw the combination and slide off to the right or to the left. That's his, use those escape routes, right? And that's why I felt as though he had to be backed up to the rope or in a corner. But here's the thing. He would not be moved from the center of that ring. Like, he held his square right there in the center of the ring. He may have slid back a half step and circled left or right, but he did not allow himself to get backed up. He held that center of the ring, and he was getting off first all the time. And, you could sit there and play Monday morning quarterback all you want, because all these armchair quarterbacks, Herring needed to do this. He should have done that. Listen, there comes a time where all the X's and O's go out the window, and you just have to say that one guy was just better than the other guy. And when I say better than the other guy, he was better than him in all areas, even the areas that I questioned whether or not he would be better than him at. He was just as strong, if not stronger, right? He hit just as hard, probably harder, because he was his sharpness of his punches, the speed and just the quickness and the fast twitch of those punches, they are stinging, hurtful, punishing punches, right?
Yeah.
And this guy was so skilled. There was times, right, where he'd be like in the mid-range, and he'd throw his jab, his right jab, and he would he'd throw his jab to push Herring's left hand out of the way, because Herring was like this. So he'd throw his jab to knock his left hand to the side just so he could sneak the left hand. This was fucking chess, man. This was combat chess. And in other fights, you would see him wide-eyed, like he'd be wide-eyed, concerned about, being hit, right? He was steely-eyed, gritting his teeth, and he had a scowl on his face when he was throwing these punches, and he was sitting down on these shots, and he was bending his knees on the inside, keeping his head on the outside of Herring's shoulders, never in the center line, sat down, ripping shots. Talk about the dog. He unleashed the dog on Saturday night. I'm gonna say something right now. In my opinion, for me, Tyson Fury's the best fighter in boxing right now. In my opinion, this guy's a close second. This guy's I'm on the Shakur Stevenson bandwagon because of what he did. Everything that I questioned him on, he was like, "Fuck you, Beeb. I can do it all," and he did it all. and then you know what I loved? You know what I loved about what he did after the fight? He poked his head through the ropes, looked over at Tim Bradley, and said, "Thank you." Instead of bitching and complaining, when these athletes, they don't like to be constructively criticized, and sometimes they are unjustifiably criticized, and they're not even criticized. A lot of times people just shit on athletes, but Tim Bradley was a little hard on him, but he used that and he said, "You know what? This is an OG." He walked and talked it, and when he was in there, he was a gritty fighter himself. I respect it coming from him. Tucked his head through the ropes. "Thank you, man. Thank you," because he lit a fire under him. And after the fight, brought the belt back to the locker room, looked over to Jamel Herring's wife, said, "I'm sorry. I know you're mad at me. I was just trying to sell the fight, whatever." And I didn't think he was really. I didn't think he was that bad.
I didn't think he was that bad. I think he could have gotten a lot worse, but I think they, he
was talking a little trash, but he wasn't rude, ignorant. He was, he did it in a tasteful way, So I didn't think it was. I didn't think he was disparaging at all.
No, I didn't think it was that.
But the fact that he went in the locker room, said, "You're one hell of a fighter," paid him his respects, handed a lot of times, they don't the belt that you win is not your belt. It's actually the champion's belt. And, someone gives the belt back to him. He personally grabbed the belt, went to the locker room and handed him his belt back. and put it on the table. Usually an official or someone just does that. He made a case to do that himself. So everything this kid did on Saturday night, I'm a huge fan. I think he beats everyone from 130 to 135. I think he can beat anybody. I think if he defends this title, maybe 3 times, 2 or 3, but I'd say defend it about 3 times. If he wants to move up at the end of next year, or the beginning of the year after, I think he can dominate 135 too. And here's the problem, Tank is a great fighter, but they're not challenging him, and steel sharpens steel. So if you keep putting him in there with guys that he's just rolling over, right? He's not going to get better. Like, this kid is a 2-time world champion, and these are legitimate titles. I mean, the other title
was vacant, but this guy,
vacant, but he defended it
like 3 times.
Yeah, he defended it against
like 3 times.
Yeah, he defended it against the top guys, right? Then he went and beat Herring. I have no doubt that he beats Oscar Valdez. I think.
No, he kills Oscar Valdez.
Yeah, I think that's easier. That's probably just as easy as a fight as this fight was. With all due respect to Valdez, I like Valdez, but I just think this kid showed me he can do it all. He could do it all. And I found something else out I did not know about him. He's actually a natural right-handed fight. He's a righty. He's right-handed. Mm-hmm. So I was watching. I think it was the 8th or 9th round. He was in the mid-range. He landed 2 sharp right hooks, and he shook Herring from his head all the way down to his boots, knocked him out of his socks, and he rattled him and he buckled him. This kid showed me that he can fight a gritty fight, and he does have the dog in him, and that's all that I needed to know. So I'm on the Stevenson bandwagon.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was it was something to watch. Adam Beanie Smith in the chat asked why didn't he sign with Floyd? He was actually real open about this. And he says that Floyd never came for him. That was pretty much it. Floyd
I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't too, because he'd be, anonymous right now.
He'd be on PBC Island somewhere.
Yeah, he would. I think he does well at 130. I think he wipes out the 130 division. If he wants to unify, he could do that. By the time he's ready to go up to 135, I think a lot of Tiafimo's going to be out of there. I think Devin Haney's probably going to move up. Devin Haney's a big guy for 135. Yeah. I think they're all going to be moving up. So I think he'll have he'll have his pick over there, because Ryan Garcia, I could see staying there. I can see him just blowing out Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. He's good. He's a special fighter. I say like this, man, all those guys in the Olympics who medaled, all right, because a lot of people can be in the trials and everything like that. Mike Tyson was in the trial. A lot of people they're all going to be good. But if you went there and medaled, that's special. That you got something special. He's got a gift, man.
I agree. And before the chat starts on their little rant about dumping on the fighter who loses all the time, he wasn't this, he wasn't that. Listen, this isn't the time to diminish or devalue Herring. This is the time to elevate Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah,
let's elevate.
Half of you guys were picking Herring prior to this fight.
It was 50-50 in the chat. We did the poll.
It was 50-50.
And I picked Herring too, but guess what? I lost $50 on Herring. That doesn't matter. That's all right. Lois, we can fix that. So that doesn't matter. That's one night we don't go out to eat and you have to cook me something about time you did it. But
steak, huh?
But this is a time where this was the passing of the torch. 24. We have a new star now. We have a solidified star now. Like, all the questions were answered. So let's be honest. Now, obviously, the odds makers had him as a big favorite, but a lot of us, we thought it was going to be a tough competitive fight, and it wasn't. He won every round. He fought a flawless, perfect fight.
The only round you could even think about giving Herring was that 5th round where he really kind of came on strong at the end. But then, because you forgot about the beginning of the 5th round, where he had buzzed him, Shakur had buzzed him, and he had him, and he's just lacing him, man. And of course, not to be missed here. Somebody in the chat just pointed out, well, Zeus Shimming was a medalist too.
He was also a world champion.
He was also a world champion. And also too, I'm sure anybody in the chat could take Zeus Shimming if they had to fight him.
Once again, when we make a
statement, respect for him, man.
But when we make a statement, okay, and we say something, we're not talking about outliers or exceptions to the rule. Now, if we make a statement that everyone that people that medal, they're special fighters, that's a pretty accurate statement. Now, if you find 1 or 2 fighters that, like Howard Davis was a gold medalist and he didn't live up to his his amateur career, it didn't transcend well into the pros, okay, but the majority of people that medal, gold medalists, Pernell Whitaker, Meldrick Taylor, Lennox Lewis, Usyk, Andre Ward. We can go down the list, right? Antonio Tavas, silver medalist, right?
Yeah, David Reed was a world champion, by the way.
Like multiple times.
All these guys want to point out these guys. Like David Reed was a world champion.
Let's not sit there and pick Joe Frazier, Ali, George Foreman. We go down the list. You want to name one guy? Sugar Ray Leonard. You want to name 1 or 2 guys? The Spinks brothers. Again, these were all great fighters, right? So don't sit there and name one guy and then like that's gonna deflate and destroy our what we just said.
And again, he was still a world champion. Yeah, world champion. Still a world champion, man. But this guy, I'm telling you, man, he's got something. And like I said, this is a guy we've been following since the Olympics. I love Olympic boxing, and this is a guy we've been following since the Olympics. Sure. And that loss, it was one of those things that I know haunts him, and that's why he grinds in the pros. And you knew he was going to be a good pro. Everybody waited for him to get they called it his man strength. You know what I mean? Because he's like, they call it feather fisted.
He's only 24. What's he going to be when he's 26, 27?
Yeah, he's going to be a monster. And he's so fast. And he's
only going to get better. I can't see him getting worse. I can only see him getting better.
Yeah, and you and I talk about this all the time with defensive fighters. If you're going to be defensive, right? A lot of people will make him miss by a mile. Shakur makes him miss by inches, and he's always in position to counter. That was what was impressive last night, or Saturday, is that he was always in position to counter. So yeah. Tony Yayo says, did we do a show yesterday? Beeb did a show yesterday. I was unable to attend that show. I had some circumstances come up, so but I'm here today, and we're doing it today. So there you go. All right, let's talk about another guy here, man. That undercard, Xander Zayas versus Dan Carpenter. Zayas wins by TKO over Carpenter. Carpenter couldn't really continue after the 4th round. This kid, man, is really impressive. For 19 years old, what did they sign him when he was 17?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Yeah.
And I was just like, you signed him at when? 16, 17 years old. This guy looks like the real deal. I mean, and he's got a ways to go. Don't get me wrong. You can't throw him in there with somebody crazy now. But this guy, he's got all the intangibles, man. He's got all the intangibles. And as far as like from a marketing, the guy looks like a male model, man. You can market this guy to the moon, and he can fight. He's got knockout power. He boxes very well. B, what are your thoughts on this guy, man?
Well, all he needs now is just experience. The beautiful thing is when you see young guys like this and they're coming up the ranks, you see a lot of bad habits, right? Yeah. And you say to yourself, well, he can do this now, but what's going to happen when he starts stepping up the competition? Well, this guy, I haven't really seen too many bad habits. Obviously, he needs to work on his head movement a little bit. Got to get his reflexes a little bit sharpened up, his defensive reflexes. But once again, that all comes with experience. you could tell that he has a great foundation. He's fast. He's got good athletic ability, very coordinated, very good balance and all that. But the beautiful thing is the punch selection, the way he sets the shots up. He's not swinging for the fences. He's very patient, very poised. And he mixes the attack up, doesn't forget to go to the body, and works off the jab very well, and tucks his chin. And he's not sloppy. You can tell he's refined. You could tell he's a well-schooled, naturally gifted fighter, right? This guy is just a natural talent. And I think with time, he will only get better as well. He hasn't gained his man strength yet. What's going to happen when he gains his man strength? He's going to be putting holes in people.
He's already real strong.
He's going to be punching.
What, yeah.
Exactly. He's going to be punching holes through people. So look out.
And he is, he looks good. I mean, defensively looks good. Offensively looks good.
And you know what? We got to give a shout out to Top Rank, because we talk about these other promotional outfits. And again, I like Eddie Hearn. I like all the promotional companies. But one thing Top Rank does better than anyone else, and you know this as well as I do, they know how to build fighters from the ground up.
Yeah.
If you're a young fighter, even Floyd Mayweather said, shout out to Top Rank. They took me when I was young. They do know how to build up fighters, but I got to a certain level and I had to go on my own, right? So when you're a young guy, young fighter, they take you and they hone your skills. They know how to move. They got excellent matchmakers over there. Bruce Trampler. They got a lot of OGs over there that know the business, right? They know the business. Bob Arum always surrounds himself with a lot of intelligent people, and he's evolved over the years. He's always open to taking advice from people that can help him, and because of that, that's why he's been around so long. So you got to give Top Rank credit for taking these young kids like Shakur Stevenson, Xander Zayas, Teofimo Lopez, and building them and making them great fighters and giving them the opportunity to grow, and just by matching them up and moving them throughout, through their career in a very strategic and intelligent way. So shout out to Top Rank. I just hope Teofimo Lopez doesn't squander all the potential and all the momentum that he had off of this Lomachenko fight, but I'm crossing my fingers and hoping he doesn't.
I'll be honest, man. I don't think he will. And I think that, none of this was all, I mean, again, I can say whose fault, who's not, listen, the fact that the fight didn't come off, I mean, it is what it is. Somebody got sick. He got sick. You know what I mean? He got COVID. He couldn't fight. And then all of a sudden, they wanted to switch dates on it. They just wanted to switch venues. And you got a guy on the other side who's not cooperating. It's just bad luck. To me, that's just bad luck. It's not even a sense of him squandering. And listen, we could sit here and look in the rear view all we want. But the fact of the matter is, if somebody offered you $3 million or $1.5 million or $1 million or whatever he was getting from Top Rank, if somebody offered you $3 million, which one are you going to take? You're going to take the $3 million. Anybody would have done the same thing in his position had they had the offer. So I don't think there's anything wrong with what he did. You got to go where the money is. And if somebody else is going to pay you more money and you can get away with it, then that's the way you go. But, what is that saying? All that glitters isn't gold. And I think they found that out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So there you go. Nico Ali Walsh versus Jamel Wesley. Walsh wins via TKO in round 3 over Wesley. Did you know? I don't know. This is a fun fact because you may not know. It's some trivia here, and I don't know if I guarantee nobody in the chat knows this, but it's just something I found out on the, just by doing research on this guy, on Nico Ali Walsh. Did you know he was related to Muhammad Ali? Did you know that? I had no clue that they were related.
Yeah,
that's his grandfather. I had no idea.
I kind of got an inkling. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
I picked that up and I was like, why are they not using this to promote this guy? Are you kidding me? My goodness. I mean, we couldn't, the whole thing was about Muhammad Ali. I'm like, this guy, when did he start fighting? When he was was he older? Was he I don't think he's been fighting since he was 5. You know what I mean? I think he picked up boxing late. I don't know. But what are your thoughts on this guy, man?
Hey, listen, you got the name, you might as well use it. Make as much money as you can. It is what it is. Do I think he's going to be anything close to what his grandfather was? No. Do I think he's going to be a world champion one day? Probably not. But I'd like to be proven wrong, but I just don't think I will be in this instance.
Yeah.
Beautiful right hand that he landed, but
he takes a lot of right hands too.
Takes a lot of right hands too.
Takes a lot of right hands.
So just match him carefully. Let the kid make some money. Let him have his day in the sun, and it is what it is.
You can't really hate it. I think that
I don't knock anyone's hustle.
No, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I mean, they're tying him to Ali at every, in which they should be. I get the promotion. Trust me, I get it. But he's not that, he's skilled, but he's, again, man, he's like, if he was just Nico Walsh, would anybody be paying attention?
No.
Would you have looked at this guy and say, yeah, he could be a world champ someday?
Well, then the argument's going to be, well, he's taking up television time that someone else deserves because they not getting it just because he has the name. But
the name draws in viewers. Like it or not, the name draws in viewers, man. Life isn't fair. Are there a bunch of better fighters than Nico Walsh? Yeah, there's a ton. Are they, do they have the same story? Nope. And hey, that's what draws people in. So you can't really, you can't say much about that. It's about money, it's about the promotion and everything like that. So, you find out Ali's grandson, what better story is that?
Yeah.
So he's going to be on these big cards, man.
And people are watching him. So
yeah. I mean, people are watching him, and I like to watch him fight. I like to see everybody, now people are tuning in to see if he looks like Ali in the ring. And if you're a hardcore guy, you're probably looking to see how he looks in his next fight. When will he get beat? That kind of thing. How are they going to match this guy up? And
I think Sugar Hill's his trainer too, isn't he? I think
Sugar Hill is his trainer. Yeah.
Okay.
JC says he's got skills to pay the small bills. That's right.
I like that one.
That was good.
I like that one.
It wasn't just the bills; it was the small bills. It was, like he'll pay your phone bill or something.
It's an honor to have you show that Ringside Reporter icon on your.
That's it.
On your YouTube thing. You represent us very well.
He's going to be our new writer here.
That's right.
Evan Holyfield versus Charles Stanford. Charles Stanford from Cincinnati, I believe.
Decent fighter. Solid.
I don't know. He was pumping gas before he got there or what, man, because he got
Ohio, you can't
iced, son. He got iced. I mean, like, bad. Holyfield wins via knockout in 2 rounds over Stanford. That was wicked, boy. So Holyfield is 8-0 with 6 knockouts, man. He's 8-0.
What a beautiful left hook that was. And he was in the pocket, and he's like, this is what he caught the shot, caught the left hook, and after he blocked the left hook, turned it right into his own left hook, man.
Turned it over, man.
Catch, shoot, beautiful.
It was all reflex too. It was all reflex.
Yeah,
that's from doing it many times in the gym, man. That was all reflex.
Right. That's right.
JC said he did improve from his last fight. Who, Stanford or Holyfield? Come on.
You can't talk about Stanford like that, please.
I didn't say I should shut up because he lives in my hometown. So he could be over here probably like 20 minutes or something like that, knocking at my door.
He's gonna come looking for you, man.
And then I'm gonna give him your name. I'm like, no, the guy from Boston. The guy from Boston was the one, man. Not me.
Yeah, tell him the guy from Boston. He ain't gonna fly down here.
Yeah, right. He ain't coming.
That's a big time plane ticket.
Now anymore, I tell you what.
Yeah, you ain't paying for that.
Oh my goodness, man. All right, before we get to the phones and before we get to the upcoming fights, let's go ahead and talk about Manscaped, Beep.
Yes,
Let me tell you this, man. I got the shower gel. I just got their shower gel. It's like a newer, I guess they got another new product coming out in November or something like that. But I got the shower gel. That shower gel is really good. It really is, man. I tell you what, man. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I got to check with my people. We have people now, Beeb. We have to check with our people now. I think we're going to be doing some giveaways between now and December and all that other stuff. So guys, stay tuned. We're going to do some giveaways, some contests, that kind of thing. Do you know what's spookier than seeing a black cat on Halloween? It's shaving with anything other than Manscaped. When it comes to the Manscaped below the waist grooming, there's no need to carve your pumpkins this Halloween because Manscaped is here to upgrade your grooming experience. Go from bite-sized candy bar to king-size candy bar and join the 2 million men worldwide by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code Ringside Reporter. All right, one word, Ringside Reporter. Manscaped is here to save the day and make sure you're smelling fresh with their new refined body wash, which is great, by the way. The ladies love their signature scent, and it will scare away those vampires. Unlock your confidence with the Performance Package 4.0. Inside, you'll find the holy grail of men's grooming items. Look at that. Look at that, Manscaped on the screen, baby. They've made it easy for you to upgrade your grooming routine. It's a full moon out and the werewolf is howling. It's time to tackle that problem with the Lawnmower 4.0. Their finely tuned products feature a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. Thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology, the Lawnmower 4.0 is easily the greatest trimmer on the planet. Did I mention this trimmer is also waterproof? This trimmer is a shower essential. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker, a total game changer to your men's hygiene arsenal. The Weed Whacker is a nose and ear hair trimmer that provides proprietary skin-safe technology that helps prevent nicks and snags. Seal the deal with Manscaped's liquid formulations. Their Crop Preserver deodorant and Crop Reviver toner will make sure your pumpkins stay fresh. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort in boxers to another level. If you're looking like a Wolverine and haven't cut your nails recently, be sure to look into the Shears 2.0 Nail Kit. They have a bunch of other life-changing products on their website, so be sure to check it out. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Ringside Reporter at manscaped.com. 20% off and free shipping with the code Ringside Reporter at manscaped.com. That's perfect, man. You gotta get that Manscaped, man. I'm telling you right now, if you don't have it, you gotta go get it, man. It's good stuff.
Good products. Get that body wash, man. Get that body wash.
Yeah.
I guarantee you'll be getting more honey dips, man, than you've ever gotten before in your life.
Tons of honey dips, Beeb.
Once they smell that on you, man, forget about it.
It's over with. I got girls stopping me in the street now, like, "Hey, are you? What is that? What are you wearing?" I'm like, "It's that Manscaped, girl."
That's right, baby.
That's right. Lois even hit me up the other night.
Whoa, please. Please.
530. You're live.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Robert.
Little gremlin bastard. Hey, Robbie.
Jesus.
Well,
how you doing, Robbie?
Anyway, I'm doing all right considering I'm going to have a birthday this week. So
happy birthday. What are you going to get?
Happy birthday, Robert.
What kind of cake is Mrs. Herrick going to get you?
We're going to have a carrot cake.
Oh, I like carrot cake.
I like that.
You like carrot cake, Beeb?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like carrot cake.
I love carrot cake.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. On Thursday, so that's what we're going to be doing. But getting back to Saturday, I've been a skeptic, a royal skeptic of Stevenson. Because of all of his previous fights. Well, anybody that was a skeptic before, they can no longer be a skeptic now. What he did on Saturday night was unbelievable. I picked Herring, and I thought Herring would be able to use his, long reach and size and stuff like that, and it did not turn out to be the case. I'm glad the referee stopped it because I think Stevenson was pitching a shutout. Herring couldn't do anything. And boy, talk about being wrong about somebody. I definitely was, because Saturday night the real fighters showed up, and there are levels to this game for a reason. And Andre Ward, who used to be a part of his management team, said in an interview I heard yesterday that he thinks Stevenson is going to thoroughly dominate both 130 and 135. And the person asked him, well, if you feel that way, who should he fight next? And Andre said, I'd like to see him fight Vasily Lomachenko. And apparently Lomachenko was watching that fight on Saturday, and he's already indicated he'd like to drop down to 130 to take him on. So what do you guys think about that?
Love it.
He gets waxed.
I love
think
it.
Lomachenko gets waxed, son.
I love
it. You're not beating him, man, right now. Not at 130.
Robbie, moving forward.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we can't bet against Shakur Stevenson ever again. Can't do it.
No.
He showed us everything. Nope. He showed us everything.
Yep. Nope.
Robert.
And, go ahead, Eric.
How old are you going to be this week?
I will be 57.
57. There you go.
Oh, my God, Robert. God bless you.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't look a day over 50.
Yeah. Hell, if I were to shave off my beard, Beeb, people would think I'm still in my 30s.
What color hair do you have, Robbie?
Brown.
Brown? How tall are you?
What, are you going to put him on Tinder?
I'm a very short. I'm a very short 5 foot, Steve. I told you that before.
Can I set you up a Tinder profile?
How great would that be?
Good luck with that. Nobody's going to want to date a shrimp, because all the women these days, they want tall, dark, and handsome. You know.
Well, not everybody can be Beeb and I. You know.
Have you bought any Manscaped products, Robbie?
Oh, yeah. I told you guys I have lots of hair, so Manscaped is wonderful, guys. So for those of you that haven't given it a shot, you better do it. It's good stuff.
Nice.
Good stuff. But no, I've always been a skeptic of Stevenson, and I can no longer be a skeptic. He thoroughly walked into that ring, said, "This ring is mine. You can't do anything," and basically backed it up.
Hey, Robert, who was the one
last
week who said that Stevenson was going to dominate this fight?
Of course, Eric, you need your ego stroked. It was you.
It was me, wasn't it? Who was it that said he was probably going to just win the fight? And I guess we didn't see any way that Jamel Herring was going to win this fight. Who said that? I can't remember.
Corey Lee. I think it was Corey Lee.
I think it was Corey Lee after the fight. I think Corey Lee called it after the fight, like typical Corey Lee fashion.
It was Corey Lee that said all that stuff.
Well, it doesn't do any good, guys, to pick fights afterwards. You have to pick them before.
Come on, don't rain on Corey Lee's parade. Come on.
Yeah.
Please.
But no, seriously, guys, I was talking to Eric after the fight on Saturday, and I can't see a tough fight for him at 130, or by the time he gets to 135. I think all the good people at 135, most of them are going to be gone. I think he's going to thoroughly dominate both 130 and 135. Will we ever see Stevenson in what we would call a real tough fight? I don't think so. Not at his current weight, and I don't know how high he can go as far as weight classes.
Well, JC said, what about him versus Gary Russell Jr.? I think Gary Russell Jr. is effectively retired. I don't know. He hasn't fought in 2 years?
Last fight was February of 2020. 18 months. He hasn't fought in 18 months.
And not only that, if he does come out to fight a guy like Shakur who's been active, he's going to get pasted.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be active in the sport, man.
Yeah. And why hasn't the sanctioning body, who he's got a title for, taken his title away from him?
Well, because
if a sanctioning body can strip Manny Pacquiao for not fighting for 2 years, why the hell can't they do that for Jerry Russell?
He's probably got like naked pictures of Suleiman
a,
somewhere or something like that, like Jose Suleiman somewhere.
You know how the WBC operates, man. Deontay Wilder had that title, right? For 5 years. He made 10 title defenses, right? And he only had 2 mandatories. Right. He only had 2 mandatories out of those 10 defenses.
You're supposed to look at poor Dillian Whyte. How long is he?
You're supposed to fight when you're in the heavyweight division. You're supposed to fight a mandatory defense every 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
But they never ordered it. So
and poor
WBC doesn't care, man.
And poor Dillian Whyte had to fight how many eliminators?
Poor Dillian Whyte. Poor Dillian Whyte's getting a title shot now. He's fighting Tyson Fury next. Poor Dillian Whyte. Yeah, he's only going to sleep on a bed of money after that fight. Yeah, my heart's bleeding for him.
Eric, I sincerely hope he gets it because he deserves it.
Please, well, they already said that's going to be his next fight because he pulled out of his other.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, what else are they going to do?
Bob wants to make it, so I hope it happens.
Yeah. It's a big fight in England.
I've learned with boxing politics, nothing is ever signed, sealed, and delivered until it's on paper.
Until they're in the ring, man. Until they're in the ring, that's for sure.
You know. So, but no, and out of Ali and Holyfield, I was more impressed with what Holyfield did. I don't know. I agree with you guys. I don't know if Ali Walsh is ever going to win any titles, but make plenty of money. Use your name. But I think Evan Holyfield, he might be able to do something at 154. We'll wait and see how that goes.
Yeah, he looked good.
He did look good, man. He reminds me a lot of what is his name? The English guy, not Eubank's son, but the other one. Who's the other?
Conor Benn.
Conor Benn. Yeah, he reminds me a lot of Conor Benn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conor Benn's got some potential too, man.
But no, he looked.
Yeah.
He looked good.
Good deal. All right, Robert. We're going to get going here. I'm going to leave you on hold, and we're going to get some other callers, man.
All right.
Keep texting us, all right?
Okay.
All right.
Weasel.
All right.
Weasel. What's the matter?
See you later, Robbie.
Terrible, man. 718, you're live.
Yeah, how you guys doing? This is
Hey, Suleiman. How are you, buddy? Nice to hear from you, brother.
So how you doing, man? That fight was pretty good. The fight with Shakur Stevenson. The situation with him, everything you guys said was accurate. He has a lot of skills, but at the end of the day, he wasn't tested by Herring. I mean, Herring was a good opponent. He's very credible, but he didn't tag him. He didn't know his chin. He only got hit in the 5th round. But I would like to see like one of those other guys at 130 you got champions at 130 that could test that chin still. I think Roger Gutierrez, all these other guys, they could test the chin. If they get matched. And he should settle. He should acclimate to 130 first. Now think about going to 135 waterweight. He could also get that big payday with Navarrete. If Navarrete chooses to move up. Gary Russell is going to get stomped. If he fights Gary Russell, that's an easy one for him. Gary Russell is not, he's not acclimated to 130. They hit much harder at that division. And the guy's a big kid. He's fast. He reminds me a lot about De La Hoya. He has that De La Hoya style when De La Hoya was young. The only thing is De La Hoya was a little more senior. He got dropped a couple of times coming up. But this guy, he's got good skills. He wants to fight, but he should get more acclimated to 130. Once he gets a couple of belts, maybe unify that division, then move up to 135 if the guys are still there. Everybody's thinking about moving up to another division. I think that's an error. He should just stay there. There's a lot of big fights in that division. Oscar Valdez, you got Roger Gutierrez, you got Chris Colbert, you got Navarrete, you got Gary Russell, you got all these other guys. You got other guys that got the regular belt that want to come up and maybe test that, test them in a fight, because you got Lee Wood at 126 that just became a champion of the regular belt and beat Zucan. These guys right there, and there's also we still got Leo Santa Cruz, who's a very credible opponent, a 3-division champ. So there's a lot of good fights at 130 that I would like to see him get tested much more. I mean, I like his style. He got a lot of great skills, but I want to see that chin get tested. Also, on Friday night, Oscar Rivas became the first Bridgerweight champion. That was a good fight. That kid went to the hospital for dehydration and also on a cut. He gave it his all. He came from cruiserweight and fought Oscar Rivas for that belt, and it was a real entertaining fight. It does make a lot of sense what the WBC made while making another division, in my opinion. I think that was a good move. The guys are way too big. I think Deontay Wilder was still being champion if he would have fought a smaller opponent than Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was skating 277, and that was able to absorb that punching power from Deontay. Deontay would have, if he would have fought anybody, any other heavyweight, smaller, he was giving like 20, 30 pounds or 40 pounds to Tyson Fury. I think he would have just crushed any opponent. I still think he should hold his head and maybe think about going down to Bridgerweight. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not an even fight. Tyson Fury is gigantic. He's going to be problems for any heavyweight. I think Dillian Whyte's going to have trouble with him. A lot of people are going to have trouble with him because he's just too big. Unless the Wayne pick from these big fights that he's had, because he took a lot of two big fights with Deontay. I think they should. If Tyson Fury wants longevity in the ring, I think what he should do is get a soft touch. Get a soft touch for the next fight. Fight a guy like Otto Wallin, somebody soft, and then move on to a bigger, better thing. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be on the show. Your show is very entertaining. Yesterday's show was pretty good too with Beat. And you guys have a great night. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Suleiman. We appreciate the kind words. Real quick in the chat, guys, if you guys are watching the show, you like what we're doing, even if you don't like what you're doing, I don't care. Just hit the like button for us. All right. Just hit the thumbs up, man. It doesn't cost anything. We're not asking you for money. Just hit the thumbs up, man. Come on. Let them know.
Not asking you to work in a coal mine, for Christ's
right?
sake. I mean,
right.
Just hit the like button. It's a little flick of the switch, baby.
Not on. Hit the likes. Come on, let's get the likes up there, man. 8:05, you're live.
Wait,
hey, what's going on, guys?
Please. Hi, Notch. How you doing, buddy?
Come on.
How's it going, man?
Let's not start this again. All right?
Sorry. How's it going, Notch? Missed you, brother.
Really? This is what I got to deal with every time?
This is what you got to deal with every time, son.
What's going on now?
You know how it works.
Yeah, I guess so. Jeez. Yeah. I guess Abib doesn't have Jason to beat up on anymore, so he's got to find somebody else to beat up on now.
Hey, look on the bright side. I mean, you could be like Robbie. I mean, he calls him a weasel every time out. It's crazy. Beeb's out of hand.
True. Yeah, I know.
This is the perfect place for me to be a tough guy. No one can touch me here.
That's right. That's right.
With the fight this weekend, man, I was completely wrong. I honestly thought Herring was going to go out there and get Stevenson, but man, Stevenson put on a really good performance. Nothing that I thought was going to come out as far as the way he performed, but man, that was a hell of a performance. I have to give him all the credit because he chopped up Herring pretty easily, which I was surprised. I didn't think he was going to be Herring that easily. I thought Herring would have put up a little bit better of a fight, but he was just completely outclassed. So,
hey, Nacho, do you know anybody who picked Shakur before the fight?
Yeah,
picked him to win
that
easy.
Guy that's sitting there with the Van Gogh T-shirt on. Apparently, he's been bragging about how he picked Shakur Stevenson.
It was me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So at this point, I mean, if it wasn't for Aram, I mean, I'm curious to see if the fight with Valdez happens. I think pretty much that's really the only guy he's got left at 130. Although that prospect of Loma going back down to 130 does sound somewhat intriguing. Because
that's
the way
interesting.
He looked in his last fight.
Yeah, let me jump in here real quick, man. That's an interesting prospect because if Lomachenko goes down to 130, right, that would take, then you could have the Oscar Valdez and Navarrete fight take place without any kind of like hard feelings or anything like that, because he wants to fight Valdez next. That would save that fight. Now you got 2 big money fights instead of just 1 big money fight. You know what I mean?
Plus, Tank's got the WBA belt down at 130 too. He's got the real WBA belt at 130. The IBF belt is vacant still, right? Because what's his name fought for it and it was a draw. Who fought?
Yeah, they were supposed to have a fight. Yeah, Diaz got stripped and the guy he beat was supposed to fight somebody for it, but the fight got canceled.
But didn't
a couple months ago, so I don't know when.
Yeah.
Jojo Diaz lost it on the scale.
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah. Then he fought the Russian guy. He fought the Russian guy, and it was a draw.
Yeah.
Is that Russian guy's name, Nacho?
Sorry. No, I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't. But
pretty good.
That guy was supposed to fight. Yeah. That guy was supposed to fight Ogawa, the guy that Kevin Farmer fought.
Okay.
And they were supposed to fight for that title.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the fight got canceled. The fight got canceled because of something to do with COVID or something where it was supposed to take place.
I got you.
So I don't know when they're gonna do. Yeah, I don't know when they're gonna do that fight, but yeah, I mean, and then with Tank Davis beef, he gave up that belt. That was the only one of the 3 that he gave up. He doesn't have
is that belt vacant too now?
Yeah, he gave up the 30.
Okay, because
he kept 35.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he gave up 30 and he kept 35. And
okay.
I don't know what the hell he's going to do with the 40 pound. I wonder if he's going to keep that one. But
yeah, I wasn't sure if he vacated the 130 pound one yet, though. That's why. But he can't fight at 130, man. That's crazy.
He gave up the 30.
That's good.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
He's too big for 30, so I think that's why he gave it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't disagree with Eric. I think those 2 fights, and then you have the 2 winners fight each other. That wouldn't be a bad idea for sure. And then with Zayas looked good, but man, they gotta step up his competition. The guy he fought had no business being in there. I mean, that guy hadn't fought in almost 2 years, and he just was there to get beat up, basically.
How many fights does Zayas have right now?
Like 11.
Yeah, he's only a kid.
Well, with the one he fought 11, yeah.
Yeah,
no, I know, but I mean, at least give him a little bit of a step up, Eric. The guy he fought hadn't fought.
You want to kill people, man? What's wrong with you, brother? Throw people to the wolves.
No. I'm not saying
Eddie Herning him, man. He's Eddie Herning him.
I mean, if you were my manager, man, please.
No.
Yeah, right.
Get these kids killed, man.
I'm not.
What's wrong with you, Nacho?
I'm not trying to put him in there with a top 5 contender, B. But at least put somebody in there that can actually fight back. The poor guy he fought was just a walking punching bag.
Whoa!
I mean,
human being, for Christ's sake.
Got a family,
got beat up for a check. Yeah, I know he is, but don't you think his family was a little upset watching him just get beat up there? I mean, come on. How fair is that to get that?
Bleed just like the rest of us, man. He's not a punching bag. Please. Can't go around calling.
I just call it.
Can't go around calling people
cold-blooded, man.
Can't go around calling people inanimate objects like that. That's not right.
Cold-blooded.
Hey, at least I'm not calling them a tomato can, B. I mean, I think punching bag.
That's rough.
Don't call him a weasel like Robbie.
Yeah, Major Key Boxing just said Carpentry had never been stopped. Look at that. The kid stopped him in a couple rounds.
Guy's never been stopped before, Nacho.
Okay. I mean,
Nacho not impressed. Wow, Nacho's still not impressed.
Anybody? Yeah.
He's not going to beat like world champions.
I don't know. I'm just asking because of this, guys. Berlanga just fought a guy who a lot of people thought was a nobody, and the guy took him 10 rounds and he got dropped and hurt, and everybody's crushing Berlanga because he fought that guy and got dropped and hurt. But Zayas is kind of being given a pass for fighting a guy who really had no business being in there.
Wow.
I mean, that's my problem sometimes.
False equivalency. Not
Yeah, that's completely different. Everybody's giving Berlanga a hard time because he had 37 knockouts in the first round, but he was fighting absolute nobodies. And the minute he steps up his competition, he's going full rounds, going all 6 rounds, and he's going all 10 rounds, getting dropped by this dude. And everybody saw there was flaws in his game.
Well, you know what else?
We don't see any flaws in this guy's game, man.
You know what else people criticize Berlanga about? Like his social media presence. He's hanging out, partying, and doing the bling bling thing with all the rappers and stuff. So he's acting. A lot of people find it resentful that he's acting like he's already made it when he still has a lot more to do. I'm not one of those people, and I'm just saying this. There are people out there that.
Well, you hang out with Berlanga at the clubs, don't you?
I mean, I've run into him a few times. In passing.
He's asked for a job from us at one time.
To
work at Beam Industries.
Yeah.
All right, Nacho, we're going to get rolling, man. Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
All right.
All right.
A little more high energy next time.
That's cold, man. That's cold-blooded, Beeb. What are you doing?
From this day, you'll be my new fool.
Georgie,
what's up, brother?
Hey, yo! What's happening, people? Crack-a-lackin'.
Now, let me ask you this. No mafia this weekend, right? Everything was on the up and up?
Everything was just dandy, baby. A little intervention here and there from the evil forces, but hey, that's the planet we live. Now, to Shakur. What's up with that performance, bro? What you guys think is special about that performance?
I thought it was.
What's the key? Now, know what we say special, because we know the key is special, but what was the key of the performance?
The feints. I thought the feints were the key. Because he was biting on those feints from the first round on. That was the key. You could see it, and you could see Shakur setting him up just on those feints alone.
And the speed difference was a lot greater than I anticipated it would be, because sometimes you never know until you see both of them in the ring together.
Yeah, that speed difference was big.
I did not think he was that much fast. I knew he was faster than him, but not that much faster than him.
Jamel, what got him was the 35 years old, bro. Because Shakur, that youth, baby. This is why I attack the Mafias all the time. Because now we're going to have Porter against Crawford. How old are these people?
Ask that question one more time, Georgie, please.
Yo.
Ask that question one more time,
How old
Georgie.
are these people?
How old are...
Porter and Crawford. How old are they?
What is Crawford, like 36?
No, he's 34, Crawford.
Okay.
And, Porter, I want to say Porter's like 32. 30, 32. He's a little
Would
younger.
you guys agree that after 33 years old, any day you get on in the ring?
I was 33. Porter's 33.
Porter's 33 and Crawford's 34. Yeah, I mean Crawford's
it used to be like that, Beeb. I tell you what, it used to be like that. But now they seem to be fighting a little bit later and later and later, It's weird. I'm back in the day, when you were hitting your 30s, you were out.
That versus Vargas from us, baby. They took out the 19 years old, the 20, 21, baby. When you see these people fight in the youth, you see magic. It's a spectacle. Shakur was fucking out of his pro. There was nothing but fucking youth coming out of this nigga, bro. Youth.
Whoa.
That's the number one problem with this goddamn greed and this goddamn mafia. That we don't see these specimens fighting each other at their prime. These motherfuckers make all these millions, trillions of dollars, overpaid for years. And we gotta wait for a decent fight this long, bro.
Sean Porter's birthday is October 27th.
33 and Crawford is 34. Crawford's 34 and
but
Sean Porter's 33.
In 2 days, Porter's going to be 34.
Yeah. Well, new media just said they were both the same age, so yeah, he's right.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah.
So this position that I'm taking about the youth, how come that most boxing they don't press that?
Yeah.
They take. You think I really give a fuck what happened with fucking Crawford and Porter now?
I care about it. This is a great fight.
You don't like that fight?
This is a great fight.
You don't like that fight?
What do you want? You want them to dip their hands in resin and with glass? You want this to be a blood?
He wants that Tom Cole fight, man.
What do you want?
Listen, this is the analogy. This is the analogy right here. Get it through your brain. Listen, you go to a restaurant. Listen, you go to a restaurant. You ask for a glass of water. The waitress, the servant, come at you with half a fucking glass. He drinks your fucking half a glass of water, give you a half a glass.
That's never happened to me.
And then he's going to ask you.
I don't go to places that don't fill the glass to the top. Who do you think I am?
Right. I believe there's some flaws in your thinking, Georgie.
You think I would go to a place that's not going to fill my glass to the top?
That's right. It's got a point.
That's probably something that would happen if I went over your house. If I went over your house, Georgie, that's what would happen.
Every Sunday you come here, that's what they give you every week. Every time. Don't say you don't go to that restaurant because boxing is that restaurant. This guy is supposed to give you a full glass of water.
Boxing's a restaurant.
And they give you a half a glass of water. And then they want to tell you, and then they want to tell you, why you so negative? Why you only see the glass of fucking water half empty and not half full? They put that mind trick bullshit fucking, try to fuck you with that shit.
You don't like this fight?
Your glass of water.
You don't think this is a good fight?
I mean,
you don't think Crawford Porter's a good fight?
Is anyone unhappy with this fight?
That's not the question, Eric. But that's not the question. The question
are you mad just because they're 34?
You think that would be a greater fight 5 years earlier?
Are you mad just because they're 34 years old? Is that what's bothering you?
You guys' brain.
Would it have been a great fight 5 years earlier? I don't know.
The delay.
But it's still a great fight. It's not like either one of them are like, this is a
good fight. It's not a great fight. It was a great fight 5 years ago. 5 years ago, man. It was a spectacle.
I don't know. I disagree. I think this is good, man.
What is it that you don't know, Eric?
I know you're not making sense.
That 5 years ago wouldn't be better.
I know it must be tough today in Rikers. That's what I know.
You know what, Eric? I'm going to be 52 in 2 months, right?
You don't look at it all. You don't look at it all.
Thank you so much. I'm not searching for compliments anyways, but if you want to give them to me, I'll grab them with 2 hands.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing. All right? If 34 all of a sudden is a death sentence, then I better start calling up and making arrangements for my to get my plot. I better get my will done tomorrow because I got 1 foot in the grave according to this guy. Then he's talking about people filling glasses up halfway. That's never happened to the Beeb. When the Beeb goes to friggin' Davio's, he gets a full glass of water. On Saturday, I went to this friggin' in Istanbul place. They gave me a pitcher. I didn't even have to fill it up.
That's respect.
They gave me a pitcher of water. And this kid's talking about half-filled glasses.
Where are you going where the glasses are half-filled? I think that's what we got to know.
Where are you going with half-filled glasses?
You know when that happened on boxing.
Listen, when I go to boxing events, they give me full bottles of water. I never get half glasses of anything. Talking about.
You get a half glass every time, baby. Every time.
So he doesn't like the fight because they're 34 years old, Eric.
He's 34. You're just hating the hate now.
I didn't say that.
How could you?
Putting words on my mouth.
That's what you said. You said they're too old. You said the fight would be better 5 years ago.
Yes.
Imagine that.
So then you're hating on it because they're older.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden, people with 34, they're going to get a discount when they go to Dunkin' Donuts for senior citizens discount at 34 years old. What's wrong with this kid?
Listen, could you guys shut the fuck up for 1 second? Let me have my call.
Okay, most definitely.
Didn't say I didn't like the fight. Didn't say that they. What I'm saying is that the fight should have happened a long time ago, so we can see Shakur sort of performance out there. Now they're gonna say what's gonna happen when
You know what?
Oh, that shit would have happened early. That wouldn't be the outcome.
I disagree.
These niggas are old.
I disagree. Because now you got both guys with a pedigree in there. Both guys with the experience in there. Sean Porter was not the same guy, not as well known 5 years ago as he is now. Terrence Crawford was not as well known 5 years ago as he is now. He's now, starting to be on people's list. You know what I'm saying?
But Eric, Crawford moved up to welterweight in 2018. The fight couldn't have happened 5 years ago.
If you know that boxing fan, nobody, you know that boxing fan, nobody knows Crawford. What are you talking about?
He wasn't as popular as he was 5 years ago.
Know Crawford. Nobody knows these niggas. They don't know boxing, bro.
Yeah, but Crawford.
I'll say it again.
Crawford moved up from 140. Wait a minute, Georgie. Crawford moved up from 140 to 147 in 2018. So the fight couldn't have happened. It couldn't have happened 5 years ago.
Math is difficult.
Well, give it a full. Whenever, listen, the last question. Do you guys think this fucking fight is fucking too old?
No.
Yes or no?
No, 100% no. 100% no.
No.
100% no.
You think this is the right timing?
I think this is an awesome fight. I think I could have asked for a better fight.
I think both guys are at the peak
That wasn't
of their
the
talent.
question. The question is, do you think this is the right timing for the fight?
I
Perfect timing.
I can't say yes again enough. Yeah, it's perfect timing.
Perfect timing, yes.
Yeah.
The stars are lined up perfectly.
Wow.
This
is
is
the
man.
perfect storm right now for those guys to
That's how
fight.
boxing die, ladies and gentlemen. That's how boxing die. Let's
That's
wait
how
for all these
boxing
motherfuckers
dies.
to fight each other when they're over fucking 30. Right on. Listen, I gotta go. Everybody support the channel. Donate. I'm out.
All right, Georgie.
I can't believe you're a senior citizen now at 34.
34
years old.
I think, and I see what he's saying. I see that both the guys are in their 30s. I get you. I know what you're saying. But again, man, with Porter, Porter's resume and everything like that, what he's done in the last few years has kind of, people are like, okay, this guy, obviously we all knew he could fight, but he's a better fighter, I think. Is he, he's a better, just a better matchup right now because both the guys are stars now. Whereas 5 years ago, they weren't stars.
Crawford wasn't even a welterweight 5 years ago, so they couldn't have fought.
Well, there's always that too. Yeah, I mean, always
Crawford has not shown any signs of slowing down.
No.
And neither is Porter.
No.
So
I mean, obviously you could have, if I had my druthers, I'd like to see Spence Crawford, but this is the next best thing in my opinion, man. Tell you what.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the upcoming fights here. We got Jose Zepeda on October 30th. I guess this is Saturday, right? Because the 31st is Halloween.
Yes.
All right, so we have Jose Zepeda on ESPN Plus. Zepeda versus Josue Vargas, 10 rounds junior welterweights. Carlos Caballo versus Jonas Sultan, 10 rounds bantamweights. And Jonathan Guzman versus Carlos Jackson, 8 rounds junior featherweights. This is going to be on ESPN Plus. On DAZN, October 30th from London. Main event, Chantel Cameron versus Mary McGee, 10 rounds for Cameron's WBC junior welterweight title and McGee's IBF women's junior welterweight title. Can't wait to not watch that one. Alan Babich versus Lucas Brown, 10 rounds heavyweights. Can't wait to watch that one. Can't wait to not watch that one either. Now, listen, Otto Wallin, and we all know Dillian Whyte pulled out. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but this is supposed to be that main event. Otto Wallin and Dillian Whyte were supposed to fight on this card as a main event. They wanted to keep it together. They offered Otto Wallin, Alan Babich in the main event, and Wallin turned it down. His people turned it down. If you're Otto Wallin, I mean, are you balling that much where you could just turn fights down willy-nilly? I mean, what?
I would have taken the fight.
I would have taken that, and he would cleaned Alan Babich. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That was an easy payday for him.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, my man? That was dumb. I don't know who's advising Wallin, but that was dumb.
Listen, they're not going to reschedule that Dillian Whyte fight. It's just not going to happen.
No, they're not going to reschedule. No, they're not going to reschedule that deal. So, as soon as Tyson Fury won his fight, that's when that fight was made. All right. They're not rescheduling anything, son.
Yeah, they're fighting Fury next.
Nothing. They're fighting Fury next for sure. October 30th, Saturday from Las Vegas on Showtime. Jamel James versus Radzab Butayev, 12 rounds for James's WBA regular welterweight title. That'll be a good fight. I like Jamel James a lot. I like Jamel James. Somebody said Boots Ennis was fighting. When is he fighting here?
I'm not sure, actually.
I'm not sure either. I didn't see. I don't even see him on the schedule here.
Yeah, I don't see him up there either.
No. I think he was confused with Jamel James. So
yeah,
there you go. Let's see here. And then after that,
sorry.
of course, next week.
I'm sorry. He is fighting on what's on Boxrec. It says he's fighting October 30th. He's fighting Thomas Delorme.
Where I don't even see him on the schedule, and I'm on the ESPN schedule here.
I guess this is going to be. Yeah, he's on that. Jamel James.
On that
he's on the
Showtime
Jamel James.
Card?
Yeah, he's on the Jamel James card. Yeah.
What's going on with ESPN here, man? Not putting them on there.
They didn't put it on
because they have Jamel James headlining that. So yeah, there you go. Boots Ennis versus who's he fighting?
Thomas Delorme.
That's Delorme. Correct. There you
he's
go.
He's on the undercard.
All right. Well, there you go, man. Well, that's a
thank
good.
You. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Absolutely, man. Yeah. So that's a good card, man. Jamel James, Boots Ennis on there. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Boots is on the undercard for James. There you go. Awesome. There it is. All right. Let's talk about the news and rumors here. Beeb is set. It's finally set. The fight that everybody waited for. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury set for December 18th in Miami.
Tyson versus Logan?
No. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury.
Okay.
December 18th.
Is that set?
That is set. That's a bad fight for Paul. That is a
tough fight for
very
Paul.
bad. That's a very bad fight for Paul. I think
very risky.
I think Fury wins that fight easy.
What's the weight limit on that one?
I don't know.
Maybe cruiserweight.
Maybe.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think Fury wins that fight easy. That's an easy fight.
Wow.
So we talked about Dillian Whyte pulling out his fight with Otto Wallin with a shoulder injury. Wallin's camp has asked for proof. As of this writing, I don't know that that's really been sent. Last I heard, it hadn't been sent. Listen, they're not getting it. The bottom line is Dillian Whyte has now stated he expects to face Tyson Fury next. I don't believe there was an injury. I believe that, if I'm his people, I would have done the same thing. I would have pulled him out because it's a dangerous fight for him. And it's all risk, no reward. We've seen it happen too many times. You've seen it happen with Morrison where he was going to get a title shot, got knocked out. We've seen this happen. We've seen this play out too many times. Smart move for the management to call an injury. Whether he's injured or not, I don't know. Personally, if you're asking me, I don't think, I imagine they probably, fudged a couple details there. But, yeah, man, it's that fight ain't happening. Why Otto Wallin didn't take that main event against Bobic is beyond me. That's just beyond me.
That was a bad move to not take that
That was
fight.
Just dumb. I mean, just dumb.
I don't agree with that one.
No. Eddie Hearn is targeting March for the Joshua Usyk rematch. Joshua, in the meantime, looks like he's been shopping around for trainers for this rematch. Now, who have we heard? He's visited a lot of people. But who have we heard is the front runner for that, Beeb?
Ronnie Shields is going to be the trainer.
We're hearing Ronnie Shields is going to be the trainer. So now whether it happens or not, I don't know. I know he was, who was it? Garcia, Robert Garcia, he was visiting with.
No, he visited Virgil Hunter. And
I heard it was Garcia too. I heard he went to see Garcia, but yeah, Virgil Hunter.
Eddie Reynoso. Yeah.
Now, I don't know that he can go to Eddie Reynoso's camp because of what's his face?
He was
Andy
there.
Ruiz.
He was there.
No, I know, but I mean, I don't know that he can really train there because of Andy Ruiz.
Well, there's a language barrier too. I mean, I think Ronnie Shields is the guy with the most experience. He's actually trained heavyweight champions before. Those other trainers haven't trained heavyweight champions before, so I think he's the most qualified to do the job. He actually spent the most time. He actually did work out with Ronnie Shields. He didn't really work out with the other guys. He was just there to visit and stuff. check it, say hi to everyone and whatever.
You know who I would have liked to seen him at least give a trial to was Derek James.
I like Buddy McGirt.
I like Derek James. I think that would have been good. I think Derek James would have been good. But we'll see. We'll see what he takes.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of Eddie Hearn, he said this recently. He recently stated DAZN would need a pay-per-view to secure Usyk Joshua 2. So he came out and tried to backpedal a little bit. He said it's very important, and I believe he told us to Boxing Social. He said it's very important to get the difference of bringing pay-per-view to a platform and bringing it for specific fights. Absolutely 100% of the aim of DAZN is to bring you traditional pay-per-view nights, pay-per-view fights we've seen in the last 5 years as part of the monthly subscription. So it does look like, and it does look and sound like they're going to go to a pay-per-view a la ESPN Plus, where, you got to pay for the big fights. So, and that's and that's also what they're saying about Usyk and Usyk and Joshua too.
Yeah, I mean, D-Style and we did a video about 2 years ago about this, and we were saying all these things like they're not going to be able to keep the platform. And I said it to you before too, that they're not going to be able to keep the platform the way it was and have it be sustainable long term. And it's not.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous. You sold everybody on this bill of goods, and then, and what are you offering this weekend? What were they offering this weekend, Beeb?
Dillian Whyte versus Otto Wallin.
No, that's not even a pay-per-view fight.
That's not next weekend. This weekend, I forget what.
Chantel Cameron versus Mary McGee. That's what they're offering.
Yeah, that's not a pay-per-view
main event. That's your main event. That's what we're paying X amount of dollars for.
Don't get me wrong.
Are you serious?
Don't get me wrong. There've been a lot of good fights that I've seen on DAZN this year, but I have not seen.
Also been lousy fights too.
No, but I have not. But I have not seen one pay-per-view quality fight on DAZN this year. Not one. Usyk versus Joshua could be a pay-per-view in the UK. Would I pay for it if it was pay-per-view in the United States? Yeah. But a lot of people that would not be a mainstream pay-per-view fight. Now, in defense of DAZN, neither is Rolly Romero versus Tank Davis. That's not a pay-per-view fight either. But
no.
But if I want to
stack that undercard, man.
But if I want to make an argument, I could say, okay, that was probably this whole year, maybe one pay-per-view quality fight, and that's Joshua versus Usyk. Other than that, there's not. I'm not getting pay-per-view quality fights every month from DAZN.
No, not even close.
Why do you think they increased the price? Because people said to themselves, "I'm not going to pay a monthly subscription for fights that I don't care about. I'd rather pay for it in the months that they have fights that I'm interested in." Right? So that's why people were dipping in and out, because a lot of people weren't interested in a lot of the domestic fights that they had. I like the domestic fights. I like the Liam Smith fight. I liked that fight.
But really, what do they got? Matchroom, and that's it. Golden Boy has been like radio silent lately. Yeah. I mean, they haven't been putting out anything, and I think he wants to go to Triller.
Yeah.
So who knows where he ends up?
Yeah, Liam Smith versus Anthony Fowler was a great fight, but
it's not pay-per-view.
Not pay-per-view in America.
No.
Not that. I mean, I loved the fight, but a lot of fight fans, the American fight fans, they're not crazy for that fight.
Yeah. So insane, man. Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos has been reset for November 27th. Matchroom has set the date for this fight. So there you go. Adrian Broner was thrown in jail on Tuesday from a Cleveland courtroom.
Wow.
He was found to be in violation of probation because he did not enroll in an alcohol treatment program, which was part of his probation.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, he'll be back in court. This Tuesday, he'll be back in court, charged with contempt. He'll be charged with contempt for failing to cooperate with a civil lawsuit a woman filed against him. That was the one, I believe, it was in the shopping mall or the nightclub where he groped or something like that without her permission.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's awful. Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson may possibly be happening in February of next year, February of 2022. Nothing has been confirmed. Nothing has been signed. A lot of rumors going that way, though. So, Beeb, you watching it?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
I'm such a degenerate. I'll do it too. I'll watch it. I'll
out of
watch
curiosity, I'll watch it.
I love train wrecks, man. That's gonna, I'm gonna watch it. And now this: Floyd Mayweather refuses a pick with a teen. He also stiffed a jewelry store, Beeb, for what, $380,000? Just refused to pay for his, I guess, custom jewelry or whatever he bought. Whatever.
So someone asked him to take a picture with him, and he said no.
Yeah. So this is great. There's video on TMZ of a teenage boy who wanted to get a picture taken with Floyd. Now, Floyd, this was at the LA Clippers game. And he took pictures with other fans and everything, but not this boy. Floyd said on camera, and you could hear him plain as day in the video, he says that he did not take pics with guys with painted nails. I guess the boy had painted nails, and he showed his nails. Floyd saw his nails and says no. He was going to take a picture with him, and saw his nails and says, no, I'm not going to. I don't take pictures with guys with painted nails.
Oh, wow.
What kind of nonsense is that? I mean, really?
Wow.
The guy was a fan. The guy was a fan of yours. I mean, what?
There's going to be some groups coming after him now, right?
There should be. Am I wrong here? There should be some groups coming after him.
Wow.
I mean, you don't do that to people, man. You just don't. That's not something you do.
What's so stupid about these celebrities sometimes? They know that the camera's on them 24/7, right?
Yeah. So
they know if they do something stupid like this, that it's going to go all over the place. So now he's going to have to deal with these repercussions. All he had, if he took how hard is it to just take a picture with someone? I know if you're busy or you're with your family and you got things going on, but if you're going to take pictures with everyone else and
taking pictures with everybody else, yeah,
you can't just exclude this one person.
No. Why would anybody do that? Why would you be in the celebrity and do that? That's just
how old was the
teenage boy? He was a teenager. He clearly teenager. Clearly, I mean, it wasn't even like it was debatable. Like he could have been a young 20 or something like that. I mean, he was clearly a kid.
Like 15?
Like 16, 15 to 17, somewhere in there.
Wow.
And
they were just like, he's just like, no, I'm not taking a picture with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can go to TMZ and watch a video. It was awful.
That's horrible.
Yeah. It's insane, man. I don't know anybody, why would they would do that? To a kid.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Get with the times, man. Everybody looks different. You know what I mean? Get with the times. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at jhabib1 and find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com. You can find me on Twitter at ringside73, and we will see you guys next Sunday.